In today's dental world, it is not enough to be a good dentist. It is not enough to have a website. It is not enough to ask for referrals. Being a good dentist today, especially in this economy, is owning your practice by driving it online and offline. The most profitable dentist is not necessarily the best dentist, but he is the best marketer. So you say, I didn't become a dentist to be a marketer. That's why you need us. Like the ad says, you can't run a business today with yesterday's technology. Our company is 10 Ton and we work exclusively with great dental practices like yours. We pride ourselves on being on the cutting edge of internet marketing and providing the best value possible. Today we are going to share with you a comprehensive game plan to get your office 10, 20, and even 30 new patients a month. All of these components work on their own, but we have bundled the entire package at a great price, and you have the convenience of not having to deal with multiple vendors. First thing we do with a new client is break down how well your website is interacting with your potential new patients. Obviously, all websites are not created equal. An unattended website that is not constantly monitored for best performance historically only has a 2 to 3% click-through rate. When we are finished making changes, we'll get that conversion rate up to 15 to 30%. That's because we are serious about making you money. What do? First, we install a heat map. This tells us where your visitors click and how long they stay on your website. Basically, the heat map is telling us how much a potential client likes your website. The key is to keep them engaged, because if they leave your website, you're dead. Once we understand where your website is falling short, we do things like install a video of you and your staff, if you don't already have one. Real patient testimonials to the point of overkill. Incentives that show real value to the patient. Automated email responses to continually communicate with the patient over a 6-month period. YouTube videos that are linked back to your website for greater viewing. As an additional service, not included in our basic package, we can also retarget potential new clients and drive them back to your website. So during your consultation with us, ask about it and we'll describe to you how it works. Now we know getting new patients is one of the hardest things to do. It's also one of the most important factors to having a stable website. In fact, the experts at dentistry.com report that each year the average practice may lose as much as 10% of its patient base by normal attrition. We recommend that you set a goal of 15% annual growth. So, if you have 2,000 patients on your books, you are potentially losing 200 of those patients in this year alone. So, your goal would be add 300? Well, wait a minute. And just to break even, you need about 17 new patients a month. And with a lot of Americans putting off their dental care because of a difficult economy, it's causing many offices to fall short on maintaining these minimums. In fact, an article on dentaleconomics.com says that 3 out of 4 dental practices are reporting moderate to severe declines of business. Unfortunately, waiting and hoping will not slow their losses, let alone relaunch their practices on a growth trajectory. To achieve a high level of success, dentists must seek ways to transform their practices as quickly and as intelligently as possible. So in order to succeed in this difficult marketplace, you need to transform your practice. I really want you to think about that statement and think about what you have already done through this tough economy to survive. And I'm going to show you how to transform your practice to automate and delegate in order to significantly reduce your marketing costs and grow your patient base. Also consider that is not only is getting it more difficult to adjust these economics, but every year competition is increasing with a flood of new dentists coming into the marketplace. According to SICA statistics, there are 157,000 dentists currently in practice. And by the year 2021, there will be over 195,000 dentists. That means that there will be approximately 1 dentist for every 1,400 people in the United States. Of course, these statistics change from state to state, but basically the more dentists that come out of school, and with older dentists staying in practice longer, There are less patients and a lot more competition for the average practice, which makes it a lot more difficult to maintain a thriving business. Now, I know these statistics can be a little intimidating, but I wouldn't worry too much about that because I'm going to show you the secrets to breaking through and growing your practice in today's marketplace. But before you do any marketing at all, the most important step is to make sure that all of your internal systems are working correctly, which means that you can bring in a new patient, present a treatment plan, and work out options that will allow the patient to accept treatment. Now, does this mean that you need to get 100% of people that come through your doors to accept the treatment plan that you present to them? Not at all, but after reviewing your new patient numbers, if your systems are set up correctly, you should see a trend of 3 to 1, 4 to 1, or even 5 to 1 return on investment for the amount of money that you're going to spend with us. You also have to look at new patients as a long-term investment. Many times this ratio won't happen on the first visit. So you should look at your numbers over a 12-month period and also dig into the second and third generation referrals to really know how much production that patient brought to your practice. But first, here's a great piece of advice that I found on ada.org that comes from an article about attracting new patients to your dental practice. It says, in today's crowded marketplace, one of the keys to success is being able to differentiate yourself from the competition, not only to solidify a good first impression, but also continue to impress your patients with each succeeding encounter. Attracting and retaining patients is about creating value for them as a medical professional, a business owner, and a friend. If you feel confident in your ability to convert treatment plans into actual patients of record, then the only thing left is to have a great strategy to generate new patients, and which is what this presentation is all about. The more educated we are about you, the more readily we can help you get your business headed in the right direction. So I'm going to show you some inside secrets on how to build a marketing plan that over time can bring in 1 to 2 patients for you every day. Many of these techniques I'll show you. So let's start by talking about advertising. A dental office like yours is limited to just a few advertising options. Mass media like TV and radio for general practices are out of reach and largely ineffective due to the expense and geographical reach of these mediums. An article from gigacom.com states that most people tend to search for a dentist within a 2 to 3 radius of their homes and offices. So your objective is to use marketing techniques that reach this population and are cost-effective and practical. For most of our clients, I really only focus on 3 types of advertising specifically to target this 2-3 mile radius supporting their practice, which are direct mailers, internal referrals, and internet-based marketing. Now with direct mail, you need to really have to be careful because if it's not done correctly, with the right creative content and the right promotion, this kind of marketing can fall flat on its face with less than a 1% return. If it costs you $2,000 to $3,000 and you see less than 5 patients, that's a huge problem and a big loss. We have heard horror stories of doctors who have spent tens of thousands of dollars on these kinds of programs to only get 8 or 10 new patients. It's programs like these that have pushed up the national average of acquiring a new patient all the way up to $500, and that is just to get someone to walk through your doors. That means that on average, to get 10 people to come into your practice, it costs a dentist in the United States $5,000. There isn't much room for ROI when a dental practice statistically has overhead that runs between 60 and 80%. Again, according to Sitka Statistics 2013. While offline marketing can be very effective if done right for our clients, we only use this direct mail to boost the numbers of patients at the beginning of a campaign, or when we want to boost the new patient totals into the 30 to 50 range per month. And when we use this offline marketing technique, we want to make sure that our creative on this is incredible. It's our primary goal to send mailers that will wow the consumer as soon as they've been exposed to it, intrinsically creating value in the eyes of the potential new patient. The biggest source for new patients in most dental offices comes from their internal referrals. Some doctors and staff members are very good at encouraging their current client base to refer friends and family members, and there are other practices that don't do this as well. No matter how your office handles your referral program, there is still a huge opportunity to leverage your existing patients to increase these referrals. We created a program that emails your patients and provides them with incentives to promote your business to their friends and family members. In this program, we have integrated the linking technique I talked to you about earlier to send notifications when any action is taken by the patients or referred party. With this automated system, we have seen increases of 30 to 50% in new patient referrals. As you probably already know, the best new patients you'll ever get at your office are from referrals. This system works in a non-intrusive way to ask your patients to participate in promoting your practice for a small incentive. With this program, not only do you get the benefit of new patients, but you also get a system that helps you manage and maintain your reputation on the web. Now, whether you like it or not, you have an online reputation that you have to maintain. Unfortunately, you don't have much of a choice in this matter, and if you don't manage it and build it, your critics and competition will bury you with negative posts and even fabricated stories. So how do you fight this? And what do you do when you get a bad review on Yelp or Google that can really hurt your reputation? Well, I agree with this article I found on mastergoogle.com that says you want to drown your negative reviews with positive ones. Essentially, having 50 favorable reviews to one negative one will work in your favor. That's exactly what we created our program to do, and the beauty of it all is that everything happens through an automated process done through emails and iPads so that there is very little labor. All you have to do is watch the positive reviews pile up on top of the negative remarks. If you're one of those people that think that online reviews don't mean much to the consumer, think about this startling statistic from reviewtrackers.com, stating that 70% of survey respondents said that online dentist reviews are just as important as a dentist's professional credentials. This number marks a huge jump from 53% recorded in 2010. Further demonstrating that online reviews from aggregators like Yelp, Google+, YellowPages.com, and Dr. Oogle do in fact shape consumer behavior, even in a specialty area such as dentistry. Now, there are a few referral programs out there on the web that you can build or purchase, but the one I use as an example is a referral program that we created with our developmental team and is exclusively used in our programs, so you can't get it anywhere else. If you would like to use this technology, I'll show you that you can do it here in just a minute. Of course, for the cold market, there is nothing as targeted or as effective as well thought out internet marketing strategy. There are so many things that you can do to draw attention to your office using the different platforms available on the net. From paid marketing and organic search results to web design, conversion, and social media. Many dentists and practice owners find themselves overwhelmed with so many options and choices, not knowing what to focus on, and not having a clue as to what's effective or what will actually work. And I understand, because it's a lot to wrap your head around, and I'll show you here in a moment, it can be very expensive to create and promote each of those things individually online. But I'm also going to prove to you that it's not about focusing on just one thing. A friend of mine once told me that effective marketing is the result of great messaging times the number of exposures at a price that makes sense, which essentially means that wherever your audience is, you should also be, as long as you can do it for a price that's reasonable. This is why it's so important to use a multi-pronged approach to really increase your new patient base. And if you are a dentist who is ready to transform your practice, then it will be about getting your message to audiences on a variety of platforms. Many of our competitors will try to sell you just one of these strategies like it's the holy grail of internet effectiveness. But from our experience in dental marketing, I know that to have a really successful marketing program, you need to do most, if not all, of these things, and have the right team watching over them daily to make sure that each program is performing. All too often, many of our competitors do what we call set it and forget it. And if you combine that with web pages that do not convert into a caller and then into a new patient, you could find yourself wasting a ton of time and money. On the internet, conversion is king. According to Wikipedia, the definition of conversion rate is the number of goals or achievements, phone calls, or web forms divided by the number of visitors. Statistically, in the dental marketplace, the average website gets a 2 to 3% conversion rate. So for every 100 visitors, that site will get 2 or 3 phone calls or web form submissions. We have studied conversions in dentistry under a microscope for a long time, with sophisticated heat mapping tools, scientific surveys, statistics, and analytical data, and have figured out how to consistently return a 15 to 30% conversion rate, which is 5 to 10 times higher than the average dental website. Yes, this means that your current website, old or new, probably does not work the way you need it to, and it will cost you a lot more money to get the amount of new patients that you want. So because you lack critical conversion elements, you may be spending 3 to 4 times what it should cost to attract a new patient, potentially making you think that internet marketing doesn't work. The truth, however, is simply that internet marketing doesn't work until you have the right tools and strategies to make it work. So what about online competition? Do you know how that affects your opportunities? If you have a text ad in Google, that ad is going to be surrounded by 9 other ads from dentists in your area. That means in order to compete, you need to have an incentive or offers that are highly competitive for your marketplace. What is your direct competition charging to get a new patient through their doors? Have you ever looked? Remember, there are lots of dentists out there, and more of them are graduating school and pouring into the marketplace every year. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be the cheapest dentist in the area, but you need to have to know exactly what your market will bear so that you can attract the right kinds of patients to your practice. If you aren't planning on being competitive, then it's not worth it, and you shouldn't be wasting money on paid ads. If you plan on using us for ad buying, which is also part of our package, then I wouldn't worry too much about market research. We will look at your competition and do the analysis for you, and then recommend proper incentives for your marketplace. Additionally, we will split test different prices to see what incentives bring in more patients and compare that to the quality of patients that are coming through your doors. One of the most important things respective to enhancing your brand is to stay in communication with your current patients. There is no better way to do that than through social media. On our own social media marketing page, we often get asked how many times should I be posting on my Facebook and Twitter accounts. Well, if you are using social media, you might notice that friends of yours post updates 2 or 3 times a day. You might even already be doing this on your own personal accounts. I would highly recommend that you do the same frequency that your friends do by being active on your social media accounts and having well-conceived posts. Stay away from being a marketer. People go to Facebook to smile, get updates, and stay connected. You can make a post here and there about your business, but the more personal and creative you can be, the more you will attract others willing to follow you. Now, you already know you have tons of competitors in your marketplace, and many of these dentists are going to try to steal patients from you. Social media is a great way to keep you in the forefront of your patient's mind, reminding them to stay loyal to your practice, and for you this means holding on to a revenue stream for years to come. Marketing a dental practice is war, and the side with the best strategy will not only win, but can actually crush the opposition. Now that about covers all of our advertising and marketing efforts we suggest for your office. If you do all these things correctly, or hire someone to do them correctly for you, you will have plenty of opportunities to generate new patients. Okay, So let's fast forward to the point where you fixed your website, landing pages, ad copy, optimized your AdWords account, and come up with some fantastic incentives. Now let's look at the 3 major obstacles that are keeping new patients from booking appointments and actually showing up. Number 1, your office hours. Number 2, your front office staff. Number 3, data tracking and statistical analysis. Every dental practice we've ever consulted with has one or all 3 of these problems, and as a result, it's killing your ROI and you're losing patients. In a business climate where margins are slim, no one can afford these mistakes. The first question I ask any new client is, what happens when a lead you paid money for calls you on one of your days off or on the weekend? What happens if they call after hours? Potential new patients and even existing patients many times will just hang up. You'd be blown away by how many new patients you've lost because you failed to answer the phone, and being accessible is critical. Your second obstacle is your front office. Most front office staff will lose opportunities when handling your cold market leads, and it really isn't their fault. They haven't been trained to handle these leads, and when they are in the office answering these kinds of calls, it's not typically their primary focus. Front office members pull charts, they make reminder phone calls, they collect money from patients that are leaving the office, they reschedule patients for upcoming follow-up appointments, and the list goes on and on. Many times when a staff member answers the phone, their attention is not on booking a new patient appointment, which often results in losing the opportunity. The third obstacle you face is understanding your data. I have yet to meet a practice owner that is keeping track or readily accounting for every new patient and where they came from. This kind of tracking information allows for smart marketing and a refined, targeted approach. Keeping track of your results is key to generating more patients and finding avenues to really increase your new patient flow. Let me provide you with another great idea. When you have a new patient, ask that person for feedback on their first experience in your office by giving them a survey. This can provide you with unvarnished feedback from people who have given you a chance and tried your services for the first time. Wouldn't it be great to have a fresh opinion of what you're doing well and where you can improve? An article on worlddental.org states that from time to time you should run a survey, which is quite an important marketing strategy. Running such surveys can really help a great deal with patient retention. People will understand that you are interested in their opinion about your prices and services, and this survey is a very good business self-evaluation tool for you. So how can you overcome these 3 obstacles and close the gaps to generating more new patients? We record, as part of our package, every phone call that comes into your office and use these calls to coach, train, and improve our handling of cold market leads. These recordings are also available to you upon request. Our phone call recording system also allows us to track which keywords were used to find our website and your website and phone number before resulting into an actual phone call to your practice, allowing us to optimize your campaigns to generate more calls based on keywords. These are really powerful tools. Now the question I have for you is, are you ready to unlock your new patient potential and generate 7 to at least 20 new patients a month? I am going to give you the 5 ingredients that you'll need to have success in transforming your dental practice for today's marketplace. The first is online conversion. There are elements on any web page that will increase conversion, and in no particular order they are high quality videos, animation, page sliders, email response system, strong calls to action, clearly defined incentives, and highly identifiable action items such as buttons and hyperlinks. Without even looking at your website, I know that you are probably missing several of these elements. Now, I'm not telling you that you have to replace your site, but I am saying that if you want to generate new patients without spending a fortune, you're going to need to have these elements and technologies built into your online website or landing page. Next, you need reputation management, period. One bad review can ruin years of excellent service. You need to have a system in place that can quickly bury negative reviews with countless positive ones. Every practice owner should use some kind of system to make sure that your patients are building your reputation in a positive direction. The third thing you'll need is quality traffic. It doesn't matter how good your marketing materials are if you don't get quality traffic to see them. I would say that most people who fail when paying for online advertising do so because they're paying for clicks and keywords that aren't quality for their practice. It takes a real expert to make sure your campaigns work the way they should and deliver traffic that will convert into real patients. The fourth ingredient you're going to need is social media activity. Obviously, Facebook doesn't seem to be going anywhere. In fact, according to expandedramblings.com, the average time spent on Facebook per user per month is 8.3 hours. And with over 1.4 billion user accounts on Facebook, it's clear that this is a place where your business needs to be. But that's not all. You also need to be active on Twitter and Google+. Staying in contact with existing patients and spreading your brand in the community is a must for any dental office these days. And it's a key element to building your reputation in and around your practice location. If you aren't doing this already, and you're currently spending money on marketing, then you're throwing away your hard-earned dollars by letting phone calls go to voicemail or missing web opportunities. Simply put, your ROI is suffering. Now, all of our clients, both big and small, who are currently using these programs are seeing at least 7 and some up to 50 new patients a month. Our clients are generating between $700 and $1,200 of revenue for each new patient that walks through the doors, and this is a general practice, not a specialty office. Could your practice utilize these programs to generate an additional $10,000 to $30,000 a month? We think so. I suppose the question you're asking is, how much would it cost to implement these 5 programs? Well, let's take a look. First, we wanted to make a side-by-side comparison of our product with what our competition has to offer. And to be honest, we weren't very shocked when we found out that no one single vendor has the same size package or the sophistication in their products and services that we offer. Which means that we're not going to be able to provide you with a direct one-to-one comparison. But we did the best we could to find multiple companies who offer similar services to see how they stack up. We asked Solution 21, Go Digital Marketing, and ProSites what it would cost to build a website. Here is what we found. You can see that the average website expense upfront is $39.66, with an average of $59 per month maintenance just for the website. If you would add those together, then break them up into payments over a 12-month period, you would roughly spend $389 a month. Now for traffic, the average expense to perform an organic search results is $600 a month, with $266 a month for account maintenance, and an ad budget of $1,000 for pay per click, which would bring your monthly expense to $18.99. Now to set up your social media account, you're looking at an average expense of $331 and a monthly expense of $398. Again, over a 12-month period, putting these two numbers together, your total expense would be $426 a month. For branded management, here is what we found. You can see that your average expense is $5,446 to clean up your brand, a major search engine, which boils down to about $453 a month over a 12-month period. We took all these average prices and put them together to show you what it would cost monthly to have a product like ours from these various competitors. As you can see, the website and landing page, $389 a month. Traffic, $1866 a month, including a $1,000 ad budget for pay per click. Social media management would cost you $426 a month. Brand management, $453 a month. First, you're going to get a state-of-the-art website built on our technology that has just one single purpose: to convert clicks into new patients. This technology comes with high-quality video, automated email follow-up responses, and dynamic data tracking. You'll also have the option to use this technology as your main website, or we'll set it up for our purposes on a unique URL and utilize it as part of our marketing machine. That choice is up to you. Our cost, incredibly affordable. Our startup cost is $19.95, and we have a reasonable monthly of only $1,100 a month. That is less than 1/3 of the research services. Second, you're going to get our online advertising system. In fact, if you don't already have one, we're going to include a free mobile website. This includes account creation, campaigns, adding ad groups, keywords, creating ads, and spending our company dollars to get you clicks and provide you with patients that are ready to book. Third, we are going to provide you with expert social media management, which includes creative daily posts on your social media pages and consistent interaction with your fan base. With our program, we post daily and interact with existing patients to generate new followers. Another thing we do is that we make your Facebook page local friendly, meaning that people can post babysitting jobs, sell things, discuss what's going on in the neighborhood, and that brings more traffic to your Facebook page. Fourth, our professional brand management services will effectively clean up and improve your online reputation by leveraging your existing patient base and any new patients experiencing your services for the first time. Finally, we are going to provide your practice with call tracking and recording, keyword call analysis, and phone track reporting to analyze incoming calls and staff responses. In total, you spend just $1,100 a month, which is 1/3 the cost our competitors charge, and you have the added benefit of not having to hassle with 3 or 4 different companies to get all these things accomplished. Once your website is ranking well and converting visitors into new patients, you can add additional strategies such as Google Places, patient reviews, reputation management, online videos, and social media. I would even take it a step further in that to have an effective marketing strategy for your dental office, you have to get exposure in as many ways as possible. In advertising, there is something called the Rule of 7, which is described really well on tutorialpoint.com, which states that the Rule of 7 simply says that the prospective buyer will hear or see the marketing message at least 7 times before they will buy it from you. This is the single biggest reason we built this program. We want your practice to be omnipresent. That means everywhere, all at once, all over the place, no matter where someone turns. If they're looking for a dentist, they'll find you, our client. There is no better program around than ours to accomplish this. Let us help you take your practice and transform it into the practice of the future. So, give us a call or fill out the online submission form. We can't wait to work with you and make you rich. Thank you for your time.